Hey everybody, Don here again, and welcome back to Ragged Edge Lure Works. Well, I've been playing around a lot lately with these color shift paints from Vallejo. This is the Space Dust group of colors. Well, I just ordered and just received this box. It's also from Vallejo, and they are color shifters. But this one is called Galaxy Dust, and basically it's just different colors down here. Now, I was going to paint up 4 of these. I really don't know what to call them. They're very similar to an old bomber, but I don't think that's what they are. But I was going to paint these up in my, what was that? My pumpkin diver, my pumpkin diver pattern. But instead, I thought I'd try something here. So if you look at this, we have several different colors. And this one here is green to silver blue. And then the next one is dark green tin. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool to paint these with that lighter color, then come in with my crappie stencil and try to put the darker green on top of that and see what that looks like. Now, I may do something a little different, but that's kind of what my plan is. So let me show you right here. So what I've learned so far is when you're using these color shift paints, it's best to put them on a black base coat. It's a totally different look than you get using it on white. So these baits were already all primed up in white. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reprime them in black. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that green to silver blue on these baits. Now, this stencil was made for a 2.5 square bill. This bait will fit in it, but I've had issues with the stencil because it didn't fit exactly. It would take off some of the paint. So I've had some tips from some subscribers who watch the channel, and they always tell me, well, one guy tells me that I should use something like a 40-50 or a 40-55 clear coat after I've painted the first color on there, and then paint it with the clear coat, and then go ahead and put my stencil on, and then it won't hurt the paint. But I've also been told by my buddy Chris that he uses the 40-30 balancing clear. Now, I've used the 40-30 with my base coat as a method of making the paint adhere better, but I'm going to give it a try. I'll mix that up with some reducer, and once I've put the first coat on, then I'll put a coat of that on. Now, because these things look better on black, what I may do is once I've put the light green on, then I put the clear on, then I'll spray this with black so that this design is on the bait in black. Let them dry, then I'll come back in, put the thing on again, and I'll paint it with the dark green to tin. See how that looks. All an experiment. Let's get to painting. All right, well, we're going to start off by mixing up some opaque black. Pretty good amount. Going to reduce that a little bit. Not a whole lot. And we're also going to add some of this 40-30 balancing clear. And mix that up. All right, here we go. Let's reprime these baits. All right, set it aside. We got another one. Now I've got all these baits primed up in black. Next thing I'm going to do is, this is the Vallejo green to blue silver. And I'm going to cover one of these just to see what it looks like with that. Now these color shifters from Vallejo are super thin. They don't need to be reduced at all. But let's see what it looks like. I suck it up really good. They have a ball inside there to help shake it up. But yeah, see, they're like, I mean, they're like water. And let's see what it looks like on black. Let's get this one on. There we go. Oh man, very green, very cool. Now I found with these shifters that the more light coats you put on, the better the effect. Maybe that's not necessarily true, but that's what I'm finding. This is going to look really cool. And you can see that it's green to silver blue. And you can definitely see that color shift. That's really neat. Look at that under the light. I guess, I don't know if this camera's going to pick it up or not, but green to silver blue. Really, really very cool. I mean, in that light right there, it's wicked green. But if I bring it out here, it's got that silvery blue look to it. Oh man, color shifts are so much fun. All right, I'm going to paint these other three up with that same paint. All right, so you see what this bait looks like. I don't know how much that color shift is going to show up, but it's already a very dark bait. Now, my initial thought was, because I thought it was going to be a little bit lighter, I thought I'd put some dark crappie spots on it with this stencil. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do now, because it's already very dark to begin with. So I'm going to think this over a little bit and then decide what to do. I may do something totally different. I may take a lighter, another iridescent paint that's not really a shifter, and put some spots on it with that. Regardless of what I decide to put over that, I am going to try putting some of this 40-30 balancing clear on top of one of these. And I'm going to mix it 50-50 with 40-11 and then dry it and just see how it looks. I'm really not sure. I've never done the balancing clear as a top coat. So I'm really not exactly sure what I'm doing here, but we're going to see if we can put a thin coat of clear on that to protect the existing paint from putting on the hard stencil. Yep, I've got that thinned out pretty good. Let's load it up on the brush and give one of these a shot. So this is 40-30 balancing clear mixed with a little 40-11. And it goes on real thin. Now let's heat set that. Also looks like it's changed the color a little bit. Maybe not. Well, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know why, for the life of me, when I decide to try something new that I've never done before, why I insist on painting 3 or 4 baits. But this is what I've done. And, you know, I originally was going to put this dark green to tin over the top of this, but this is already a pretty dark looking lure. Now, I would rather have a lighter base with darker spots, but that ain't going to happen on this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, I think this iridescent yellow-green flash that I used, which is kind of chartreuse. I'm going to wrap this thing up in this stencil, one of them. Hopefully this 40-30 we put on there to protect it will keep it from scratching any of the paint off, because these do have hard edges. I'm going to wrap it up in this thing, and I'm going to come in with some of this yellow-green flash. I'm only going to do one and see what it looks like. So, all right. See what it looks like. Should be fun. Here we go. Let's do the other side. And let's see what it looks like. We got multiple things to look at. Did any of the bottom coat paint come off? You cannot even see that color at all. Barely. I can barely see it. It did lighten it up some, but man, that's not really what I was looking for. Huh. Well, good news is none of the paint chipped off from the stencil, so I do know that the 40-30 worked. But man, that's pretty light. I may put a second coat on there just to see if I can darken it up some. What do you think? All right, that's pretty heavy, that's for sure. Well, it didn't really change it too much, but it is kind of a cool color now. You still get that color shift. It's a little more subdued. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the rest of these the same way. Use up that paint. And then I'm going to put some different kind of spots on there. So just use that as like a undercoat. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so you can see what these things look like now. They're kind of cool looking. I'm thinking of taking this, I don't know what this stencil is, but maybe just randomly putting some, I was going to go black, but I think it'll just be too dark. I think I'm going to put some random white, pearl white spots on here to kind of see what that looks like. Yeah, let's just keep playing. All right, well, I just put a little bit of pearl white in this brush. Just going to do some random stuff like that. Just to lighten it up a little bit. Flip this over. And kind of do the same thing over here. Just lighten it up a little bit. All right, well, I've decided what I'm going to do. Because I've got several coats of paint on this now, I'm going to throw another coat of 40-30 balancing clear on there to protect the paint. And they've lightened up quite a bit with all this additional color. I'm going to come back in with this. And I'm just going to put some light bars on them. I think I'm going to go with pearl black and see what it looks like. Then I'm going to darken up the face a little bit and see what they look like. All right. Mixed up some pearl black with some reducer. And let's go pretty light. Let's see what it looks like. Well, different. Kind of got a bumblebee look to it. I don't know. I don't know what I think about it. I don't think a whole lot, actually. That's what it is. All right. Well, I put some kind of a bright eye on that thing. And now I'm going to put some epoxy on it. Not crazy about the way this thing looks. It's a really dark lure. But we'll see what it looks like once we get some epoxy on it. And then we'll talk about the lessons learned. All right, well, here's the finished product. And I gotta tell you, it's not really at all what I had planned originally, and it really didn't come out like I thought it would. But it's not too bad looking. It's kind of a crappie looking pattern. Yeah, so what did we learn? Well, we learned quite a bit. You know, the base coat that I used was this green to silver blue color shift. And as you saw during the video, you could really see that color shift when it was just that coat. But as I started putting other layers on top of it, it totally lost that color shift. Now this lighting is terrible, but you can't really see it, and I'm not going to waste your time, but you can't really see it in the lure like you could before I put all the extra layers on top of that. So one of the things I learned was color shift paints are probably best used on the top as an accent or as a combo of different color shifts maybe. Yeah. The other thing was if you're going to try something totally new and you don't think it's going to turn out like you planned, maybe only paint one at a time. I don't know. We'll see. These may sell, they may not. I don't really care. But yeah, thanks for coming along. We'll see you next time. Peace.